stats for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Yeah, man. You know what's going on. You know the vibes, man. This is the Road to 5K subs. If you are new to the channel, my name is Rashad Milligan. Hold on. I'm hearing the last bit of Paige talking, but I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the show started. So, as predicted in the bracket, what can I say? South Carolina, UConn. After all the beatings, my bracket took rounds 8 through 85. The finals are set, and everything's going kind of exactly like how I was planned and stuff like that. I wish I could have this wonderful basketball-based analysis for the reason why Gino Auriemma and CD and the entire UConn Husky staff just planned a greater, smoother offensive game plan and everything like that over UCLA and Corey Close and things like that. But at the end of the day, things just kind of are simple. One team had Paige Becker, Sarah Strong, and AZ Fudd, and the other team did it. Lauren Betts, got off to a good start, got into some foul trouble, had to sit down in the first half. Same thing we seen at the LSU game. Difference is with the LSU game, UCLA's bigs, backup bigs, and everything like that, and everybody else really stepped up when she went out. This time around, it was the exact opposite. UConn stepped up. AZ Fudd went crazy. 12 second quarter points, 19 points in the first half. It was just different, man. Sarah Strong doing Sarah Strong things. Paige Baker's doing Paige Baker's things. And now we have one game. And I hope in between right now and Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we get a minimum amount of questions about health and the history of UConn's team and the opportunity and what this moment means to them, because it's like y'all been asking that question all spring, and knock on wood, please, somebody knock on wood. Please, pause. Because it's like, dog, why jinx them? Why bring it up? Why? Like, we all know the obvious. You don't have to bring it up. I feel like, in my personal opinion, we know what's been going on for the past 4 or 5 years. Like, you don't have to bring it up. Let them seal the deal. Let them win the final game, and then we can talk about, oh man, you guys have been getting hurt. Like, what does it mean for y'all? Hold on, who's talking? Let me pause you. Okay, thank you very much. Anyways, yeah. Let's pull up the bracket. Man. Where we at? Okay, bet. All right, so after all of that, I'm still in the low 70s, bro. That's crazy. I'm millionth ranked. I was like 700,000 ranked. Now I'm millionth ranked. I guess because a lot of people, my goodness, 530 out of an 1810 max. How am I doing that bad? I got both games right today. I don't even know how it got that bad. Oh, did it not? Do I need to refresh? All right, I'm about to refresh. Does this change? Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hey. Look, okay, 1370 of the 16. That's what I'm talking about. 82% in the top 600,000, man. That's what I'm talking about. I know that's right. UConn over UCLA. I got that right. And I said South Carolina over Notre Dame. I got the opponent wrong, but I got the winner right. And in the championship game, I got UConn and South Carolina, with UConn winning it with 157 points scored. As you see tonight in the hold on, let me get the calculator. Hey, my mama said, hit the streets and live. Got some out the corner, and I did what I did. The neighbors, they don't like me. I got J's at the door. Told my grandma I don't need a bed. I'm sleeping on the floor. All right, here we go. So tonight, South Carolina scored 74 points. And they allowed 54 points. Okay, so here we go. It is 123. 128, excuse me. All right, so 128. I predicted 157, just for reference. Okay, UConn's game. UConn, what did they do? Okay, there we go. UConn scored 85 points, and they allowed 51 points tonight. That is 137. So UConn had 136 130. I don't know why I said 137. And yeah. So I said 157. We'll see, bro. We'll see. I don't know about that 157, but we'll see. We'll see some. But yeah, man. Should be a good game. Should be a good rematch. It honestly so far it looks like UConn and everybody else like there's a huge gap. South Carolina once again got off to a slow start. That's been a trend that we've seen this entire NCAA tournament run from them, from the first round, the round of 64, all the way up to through the Elite Eight and tonight's Final Four, semifinal, and stuff like that against Texas. They got up to a slow start. Texas got going early. Maddie Booker got it going early, specifically. Maddie Booker, once again, gets into foul trouble. And what's the difference between Texas and South Carolina at that point? Okay, South Carolina, slow start offensively, late, come off the bench. And then who else coming off the bench? Joyce Edwards come off the bench. And that's the difference. Is when you can go 10 deep. When you can go 10 deep and the other team is top heavy, it's like Rory, Maddie, and if they or Oldacre, and if them jokers struggling or whatever, it can't get one of them not playing, it's a whole nother situation. So that's pretty much what we've seen with South Carolina tonight. Just that death really got them through and won them that game. They busted open, and then after a while, that's crazy. But after a while, once the lead was large enough, they kind of just had their confidence, got their confidence back, and closed the door. Texas really kind of let up off the gas after going down double digits in the second half, and that was the game. With UConn just fought aggressively. They're hungry. 19 points in the first half for AZ Fudd. Question that Holly Rowe asked, what's going on? She said, man, it's the Final Four. I don't have no room to be off. I have to be on. It's a mindset. It's not even the thing. It's just a mindset. AZ Fudd is more locked in than she's ever been in her college career. We said this earlier this season at the game at South Carolina when AZ went stupid from three. And we were like, man, we're talking about AZ Fudd in big games. We've been talking about it. Oh, light super bright. That's not the case this season. AZ Fudd's locked in. She has a point to prove. She has a lot to prove to people that she's mentally tough enough and that she's not just natural talent, but she can step up in the big games and can step up to be UConn's leading scorer, UConn's best player when need to be. Sarah Strong is solid as always. She's just kind of always giving you a solid performance. And same with Paige for this year and stuff like that. I know Paige she's gotten the can she play in the big games thing before as well. So, but for the most part, Paige, her entire career has been solid. Let's look at some of the stats here. Sarah Strong in 33 minutes, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Ridiculous stat line. Shout out to Alfie's parents. I believe they were in the building tonight. It was the first time they seen her play at UConn. Paige, 16, 5, and 2. A pretty solid stat line. AZ Fudd, 19 points. She scored all of those in the first half and didn't score again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They kind of cruise sailing into the sunset. KK Arnold played some stifling defense up top and made it very frustrating for Kiki Rice for UCLA. 9 points in 19 minutes and 3 assists. Ice Brady did her part, 5 points, 2 rebounds. Ashlyn Sade, 3 rebounds herself. Griff had 5 minutes herself, 2 points in 5 minutes. Who else? Caitlin Chen over there, 24 minutes, 6 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. You see Princeton was rooting for her and everything like that. They shouted her out before the game, going into the game, and she's just doing what she's done all season. That is a very, very solid point guard. For UCLA, you had Lauren Betts. She did all she could, 35 minutes, 26 points, 5 rebounds. Kiki Rice, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. You definitely need more from Kiki Rice. Before Lauren Betts came over as the number 1 prospect out of high school and coming over in the transfer portal from Stanford, Kiki Rice was UCLA's face of the new program. She said she wanted to win them a national championship, their first national championship. She helped get them to their first Final Four. But in a Final Four appearance, you have to do better than this. 8 points and 3 and 3, you have to do better than that, Kiki Rice. And she knows that. So she'll be back. But as she gets older, there's only one more chance to do this. I mean, unless, it's a medical thing or a red shirt or whatever was going on in the NCAA nowadays, it feels like they're letting everybody get a minimum of 5-6 years. But Yeah, Kiki definitely has to lock in if she wants to bring that kind of a reality to UCLA. A lot of times, a lot of the criticism that the UConn players got that I just addressed early on in their careers, the first 3 years and stuff like that, was can they do this in the big game? And now I feel like it's kind of time to look at Kiki Rice with that. Earlier in the season, when they beat South Carolina and they beat them bad by like 18 points, it was like, okay, I think I even said it on the channel. It looks like UCLA's turning the corner. They're getting over the hill and they're starting to win those bigger games that a lot of times they kind of shrink. And lights too bright, lights too bright. They're starting to win those games now. But as the season went on, I mean, and ultimately tonight you kind of see the same old UCLA. And yes, you have to give them credit. They did beat LSU. They did have good kind of run. Hold on, let me go to the bracket to see their exact run. So I give them that credit. And Lauren Betts has had a historical season, like the best big season statistically speaking since Asia Wilson. First player to do it since Asia Wilson. It was like 1,000 points, not 1,000 points, but like 500 points, 300 rebounds, 200 blocks, 100. It was something like that. But yeah, blew Southern out the water first round, round of 64. Then beat George Richmond. Okay, Richmond. And then yeah. So yeah, Ole Miss, LSU, and now UConn. They were all formidable opponents, and they played the first two well. They played the first two very well, but UConn just ended up getting the best of them. And now you're going back to the drawing board if you're UCLA. I don't know what you do. You did bring over Janiyah Barker. I feel like that was your big get from last offseason. And your big get tonight got you 3 points in 17 minutes. You need more than that. You need more than that. And she was the one talking. All of them really was talking. If we hit LSU, we get LSU. LSU. Don't be happy to make the Final Four. Lauren Betts was the only one I heard in a post-game interview said, we not happy just to make the Final Four. Everybody else, oh, yeah, we really wanted this. All the girls last year, we really wanted this to get over LSU. Focus on the next game. UConn, by the way, them jokers celebrated. They threw the hat on. Gino gave him the little confetti shower, but at the same time, they was like one game at a time. We can't look at the national championship. We have to respect each opponent. Going into it, what about USC? USC's in your bracket. Well, we want to respect every opponent, go one game at a time. By the time they got to USC's roster was what it was. UConn did what they did. They move on. They beat UCLA. Now, final game of the season, it's a rematch. South Carolina, a rematch from a couple years ago in the national championship. Another chance for Paige to really solidify her legacy and beat the Giant. South Carolina is the Giant. They are the defending champs. You have to give them that respect. And so we'll see what happens. Hold on, let me see. All right, cool. All right, so those are my thoughts on the game. I think it'll be poetic and extremely beautiful if Paige ended her college career with a national championship win after coming up short a couple other times and playing hurt and getting hurt and all of those things. So yeah, man, that is it. Let me move on to the next thing. 404 day, man. 404 day. Shouts out to my hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I'm from Marietta to be exact. But grew up largely a part of my childhood and my upbringing in Atlanta. Halfway lived in Atlanta as well with my father, my partner, my father, things of that sort. And yeah, man, it was a great 404 day. Great 404 day for a couple of reasons. And one of the reasons, man, Julio Jones officially announced his retirement. He intentionally waited until 404 day to announce it. And man, what a career, man. One of the greatest receivers in NFL history. One of the greatest receivers of his time. Hold on, I got to pause this because they're going to get me out of here with that. One of the greatest wide receivers of his time. And the greatest receiver in Atlanta Falcons history. Just a country boy from Alabama, really getting it done. A man of few words. If you ever interviewed him, if you ever talked to him, but he goes out there, he works. He partied hard. He worked hard. He played hard in the city of Atlanta. But at the end of the day, the Joker got to work, and he did. He kept the main thing, and he helped bring Atlanta back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the Vic era, 2004 and 2000. Well, technically the year was 17, but the season was 16. And his play will never be forgotten. His heart will never be forgotten. His loyalty to the organization, the way that he left was crazy, with Shannon Sharp live on air saying, "I'm trying to get out of there," everything like that. Ever since he got out of there, his career wasn't the same, and it kind of fizzled out in a way where he just ended up sitting from the sideline, figuratively, and no teams called him, and he just kind of retired like that, kind of like Carmelo. But all in all, amazing career. And I want to give Julio Jones his flowers for what he meant to the city, and a big ups to how he announced it. He announced it in a video on social media, and he's playing Young Scooter's Julio song featuring Future, obviously an Atlanta classic, Atlanta Falcons theme song for like a very long time. And have to say once again, oops, I hit the thing. Rest in peace, Young Scooter, RP, for sure. I got them dirty bird, call me Julio. Julio, soon as a Mayweather, you make it Julio. I said the wrong words. My bad. I apologize. I hope you guys will forgive me. And then Dwight Howard, man. Hold on. Let me pull up some Dwight Howard. Man. Let me make sure I get this right. Where we at? Dwight Howard, man. Dwight Howard, one of the greats in Atlanta history, Atlanta basketball history. We have to respect the greats. From the Atlanta Celtics, arguably the greatest AAU basketball team ever. I know a lot of people will say the Compton Magic can rival them, but or some people might even say Strive for Greatness can rival them. The years of Bronny and Big Jaw and Mikey Williams and Gabe Cupps. But this team right here, this was before the social media era, and they were all really from Atlanta. Like, a lot of people, they be from with the great teams, they'll be from like Kentucky, and like, how you end up on the team in Atlanta? I don't know. It just happened. But these three right here, they all Atlanta boys, things of that sort. I think Randolph Moore is from Atlanta. Hold on. Let me make sure Randolph Moore is from Atlanta 100% before I say all three Atlanta boys. He's from Houston. Where you go? Oh, but he went to Landmark Christian, so he went to high school in Atlanta. So I'll give him that. I always view Randolph Morris as an Atlanta boy. But yeah, man, one of the greatest teams ever. And then the hype as a number one pick at Southwestern Atlanta Christian Academy, and just, man, like, bro was different. Like, and he was always a point guard. I don't know if people know that, but Dwight Howard grew up as a point guard through high school. He hit a growth spurt in ninth grade and had to become a center. And that's literally where everything came from. So if you ever see Dwight Howard bringing up the ball, or later in his career, his NBA career, when he was shooting 3-pointers with the Lakers and stuff like that, and bringing the ball up the court, a lot of people were kind of laughing or like impressed by what he was doing. But that's literally Dwight Howard's like roots, basketball roots and stuff like that, playing point guard. He was extremely dominant at a small, tiny high school in Atlanta, private school in Atlanta, and things of that sort. And, just was on Fox 5 all the time. I remember before the draft. And to go number one was a huge deal from Atlanta. And every time he came back home to play the Hawks early on in his career, his entire family would be there. He always make sure his entire family was good. It would be like a section of them. Like, he'd take up a whole section after the game and come and greet him and take pictures with him and just catch up with him. And he just loved it, bro. He really loves the city of Atlanta, really appreciates the city of Atlanta. And so that was his rookie year. He was a great rookie, had the dunk, the inbound dunk, if y'all remember, on Tim Duncan. I was muted. Okay, bad. We back in business. My mic just muted for some reason, and I had to plug it back up. But what I was saying was in his rookie season, if you remember that inbound game-winning alley-oop dunk over Tim Duncan, it was like obvious from a very, very early time. You know, NBA TV will replay his introductory press conference all the time where the general manager was like, you don't pass up on guys like Dwight Howard. You got to get guys like Dwight Howard to be a central piece to win the championship. From game one or press conference number one, I want to win a championship for the city of Orlando, for this Orlando Magic franchise. I want to spend my entire career here, everything like that, right? So to see him to go from that as a rookie, you know, kind of with a lot of promise and just a lot of spring, a lot of energy, you know, brace face dude. You know, he had Chris Paul dunk on him, then Kobe dunked on him and stuff like that. That was his rookie year, right? So, but he's still coming up through it. He's still coming up through a very, very solid rookie. I believe he won rookie of the year, right? So then, man, I said Chris Paul dunked on him. Chris Paul came out 2005. How Chris Paul gonna dunk on him his rookie year? Regardless, disregard that. We're gonna go back. His first couple years. But boy, I tell you, I don't know what it was, but he made that jump in 2007, 2008. I seen him in the preseason, 2007, 2008 in Atlanta, and I was with my Uncle West. Shout out my Uncle West. And I was like, man, he just looks different, bro. He just looks different. He's just locked in. Like, he looked much bigger. He was starting to wear those sleeves, you know, like the little sleeves and stuff like that. And bro went crazy. In the preseason, I'm like, oh man, he took a leap. I don't know what it was, but he just took a leap, bro, from 2006, 2007 to 2007, 2008. So 2007, 2008, he starts dominating. And then we get to the All-Star weekend, '08 dunk contest where he does Superman. Oh man, that just took him. So now he like one of the biggest stars in the league after he did the Superman thing. And then he's like dominating now. Like, he was already an all-star '07 in Vegas, but '08 in New Orleans, like, bro was really, really him, bro. Like, he was really him at that point. And so now he's dominating. And then all of a sudden, the Magic just start dominating. And it's like Jameer Nelson and Rashard Lewis and Hedo Turkoglu, and he's surrounded by a bunch of shooters. And you know, they bring over Rashard Lewis in the trade and stuff like that. Or no, Rashard Lewis, he signed with the team. Jameer Nelson is coming along. He was drafted the same year as Dwight. Hedo Turkoglu comes along and has the best year of his career. And they have JJ Redick and Keith Bogans and just a lot of like shooters, you know what I'm saying, on that team surrounding Dwight Howard. It's the perfect team for him. They come in '09 and then beat LeBron. LeBron hits that his first game winner in the playoffs, buzzer beater. It was a 3-pointer off balance. And people was like, oh, snap, ooh, woo. Nah, bro. Dwight Howard, bro, he was on a different level right then. He was the most dominant player in the East at the time. And they beat LeBron, bro, and go face in the finals. They face Kobe Bryant. Kobe's fresh off of losing. Kobe and Powell fresh off of losing to the Celtics in '08. And they got blown out the last game. So Kobe is like determined, bro. He want to win. He want to beat Shaq. So Kobe has 3, Shaq has 4. Kobe wins, bro. He locked in. They won in like 5 games on Orlando's floor. Man, that man Dwight said, Jameer, stay with me, bro. Let's watch it so we can get motivation to get back here. Them jokers never got back. Not in Orlando with Jameer Nelson. Them jokers never got back. So, you know, so hold on. Let me get over it now. So yeah. So now, you know what I'm saying, they still trying to figure it out, but they dominating, bro, especially against the Hawks. The Hawks, it's an easy sweep. Like, it's like they just got the Hawks number. The Hawks can't do nothing with them. Hawks get swept twice, 2 years in a row, bro, by Orlando. And each win is like 40 points. Like, they even losing at home. Hawks didn't lose playoff games at home. They did them little half whiteouts talking about bring your own white. No, give the people some shirts. Stop being cheap. So anyway, them folks going with the half whiteouts in Phillips Arena, and they just blowing them out. 50, 40 points. They start booing them. Boo. They asked Joe Johnson, man, how you feel about the booing? He said, well, we can honestly care less if they show up or not. We gonna play our game. Woo, woo. And like Joe, like the fans is what's getting you the thing. So they start booing him, and then Buddy go and sign a $110 million contract. Back then, $110 million was like unheard of. It was like you get 110 if you LeBron, if you Wade, if you Bosh or Dwight or Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, those type of guys. And Joe Johnson got that type of money. So folks is like, all right, bro. So Joe was just it was no winning with him at that point because it's like you're not winning the championship and you're getting paid like you winning a championship. So that was just a bad part. But all in all, Orlando, even though they was dominating the Hawks, the rest of the East, they running blocks. Boston Celtics, running block. Cleveland Cavaliers, running block now. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, Dwight, he kind of just get frustrated. He had the whole awkward thing with Stan with Stan Van Gundy and things of that sort. He just ends up going to forces his way to LA. He want to go to LA. So he finally gets his wish. He goes to the Lakers with Kobe. You guys know the rest right there. He actually suffered a back injury, but he finished the season through the playoffs because I think Kobe tore his Achilles, if I'm not mistaken, that season. His season, it was like his career altering Achilles injury from landing on Dante Jones's foot in Atlanta. It comes back to Atlanta always. And so Dwight still carried the team and put up a double performance average in that first round series against the Spurs, but they got swept. And people were calling Dwight this and that and that. So Dwight gets out again. He goes to the Rockets. They face the Lakers. That man Kobe, he trash talking Dwight. He said he a quitter. He a this, he a that. They on bad terms. And he said, you soft, bro. And they had the whole fight thing when they was teammates. And Steve Nash was on the team. They was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Did not go well for them boys. But that was that. He goes to Houston. He finds his joy and love again for the game of basketball. Teamed up with James Harden. Them jokers make great runs in the Western Conference, but the West is just too much. They can never get out the West. So that was that in the West. So they tried that for about 3-4 seasons. And then that's the rise of Steph Curry and Golden State. And it's like they start winning the West and they start winning championships. Now Dwight like, dang, what can we do? So now Dwight's at a crossroads of his career. He becomes a free agent once again, probably for like the last time of his prime. He decides to finally go back home to Atlanta. He says it was a God calling and everything like that to come back home. And he changed his number to number 8, which is a heavenly number and stuff like that because it was God's decision to come back home and play for the Hawks. And for the Hawks, he was pretty good, bro. A lot of people don't talk about this. And he was saying the game has changed. Big men need to shoot threes. This is 2016. And he changed his game. He's shooting jump shots. He was working with Lethal Shooter. I think this is how Lethal Shooter really got his start as a social media influencer. He was training with Dwight Howard and stuff like that. And, so he had a really good season with the Hawks. But the Hawks, it just wasn't enough. Originally, the team was supposed to have Al Horford come back. So Al Horford, for the first time in his career, was going to have a legitimate center. And it was going to be Dwight Howard at the 5, Al Horford at the 4. When Al seen that the Hawks signed Dwight Howard, he said, "Oh no, F that." Reportedly, allegedly, F that, and he ends up signing with Boston. And then the paper says, I always like the crowd at Boston. They're loud every possession, every game. It's not just for the big games. And I remember playing against them and thinking like, man, I want to. So that's when Al Horford became an op. He went to the rivals and like big up the ops rival crowd and stuff like that and kind of down the Hawks. And then like after the scrutiny, he bought a full page ad and said, Atlanta, thank you so much. People are like, nah, damage has been done. So he gets booed in Atlanta every time now. It's just incredible to think that Al Horford would turn heel like that. And he even left Boston, got traded to Philly, went to OKC for a little, and then went back to Boston. So he doubled down on him being it. Anyways, so Dwight was actually good on the Hawks, bro. But they get new management. Travis Slink comes in and he like talks. Dwight, oh man, no. Dwight still got it. He averaged 12 and 10 last year. He averaged a double. He still got it. We could work around him. Boy, them boys trade Dwight to Charlotte to keep him close to home. But his family and Dwight, they're not happy about it because it's like Dwight sacrificed to come to Atlanta. Dwight sacrificed to play for his hometown team, and to bring, a superstar to the hometown team. Atlanta hasn't had a superstar. Joe Johnson was an all-star, but he wasn't a superstar. Atlanta didn't have an all-star superstar since Dominique Wilkins in the 80s and 90s. So it's like Dwight wanted to offer that and offer his likeness and his talent to his city to get the city and the Hawks franchise back lit. He doing a lot of community service. He did all the right things. And it's just like, you guys going to give up on me after a year? So they did that. They gave up on him after a year. He goes to Charlotte, puts up crazy numbers at Charlotte, but they're losing. Goes to Washington for a year. He puts up crazy numbers in Washington. Was he in Washington for a full year or just for like a quarter year or something? But then he like starts to kind of become a journeyman. He plays for Philly. Then he goes back to the Lakers. And when he goes back to the Lakers, he wins the championship. And then I think he went back to Philly, I want to say. And then he went back to the Lakers. And now he's just like not in the league. He went over to Taiwan, played in Taiwan, loved Taiwan, embraced it, brought people over there and stuff like that. Brought his podcast over there. Shout out to Snipe Jones, everything. And yeah, man, with all that being said, there's a lot of off court stuff that goes on with Dwight that people like make fun of and stuff. But overall, man, the man's an Atlanta legend. And he's one of the best players in Atlanta basketball history for sure, and high school history. And at the peak of his career, at the peak of his prime and status and stuff like that as a superstar, when his hometown franchise ain't had a superstar in 3 decades, he decided to take less money, turn down other teams to come back home. And I'll always respect him for that. The franchise didn't give him a fair shot at it, but I always respect him. And for that, he's an Atlanta legend to me. Today, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame as the first ballot Hall of Fame. Give it up for Dwight Howard. Salute to Dwight Howard, man. And another thing I want to say about 404 Day is I saw a lot of 404 Day kind of tributes and stuff. And here's with Julio Jones jersey, perfect for the day. I saw a lot of 404 Day tributes. And this one, it had like no woman featured. And it's crazy to have like no woman featured in a 404. Like, woman didn't contribute to Atlanta. I was looking at Baby Jade was at Young Scooter's balloon memorial, right? Balloon release memorial over there in Kirkwood. And Baby Jade is one of the more important people just in Atlanta, like right now, bro. Like her, Ferrari Simmons, you can go down DC, Fly Guy DC, DC Young Fly, Manny Supreme, all the homies, My Asia, all the homies for sure are like very important people to Atlanta culture when you talk about New Atlanta and stuff like that. Obviously, Ryan Cameron always holding it down, Frank Ski always holding it down, Greg Street always holding it down, Big Tigger always holding it down now. He's kind of like a OG in Atlanta. Big Tigger is crazy, right? But man, yeah, dude, like women mean a lot and have contributed a lot to Atlanta. Like even Sierra, bro. Like we're not going to shout out Sierra. We're not going to shout out TLC. We're not going to shout out Escape. We're not going to shout out, you know what I'm saying? All these groups and all these women who have built Atlanta. We're not going to shout out Lotto for what she's doing right now. Lotto held down Atlanta hip hop on a mainstream level for the past, I would say, probably about 2 years. It was like Savage did the Drake joint, Her Loss. That was like 2022, maybe 2023 at the latest. But after that, it was like no one else. Thug was locked up. Future, what I'm saying? People, okay, Future's Future, but it's still, what I'm saying? It was kind of like an entire thing, right? It was an entire kind of opening for someone to do something. And I felt like Lotto stepped up in that position, bro. And she don't get a lot of credit for that. So yeah. Like Lotto can get some shout outs. You know what I'm saying? It's some women that do stuff in Atlanta, bro. Shanti Dawes, you know what I'm saying? I could go down the list of some folks. Shout out to Divine over there, gang, T gang, and stuff like that. With 2007. Shout out to Veda. Shout out to, and then, you can obviously go with the current kind of crew that's going on right now of Mercury, Veda, Muddy Maya, Anicia, Caribou, Who else? Spook. You know what I'm saying? Spook just dropped her album, Jalen Josie. It's a lot of people from Atlanta, bro. And Baby Tate. It's a lot of people from Atlanta that you can shout out and give some love to. Diamond. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every event we play Nuck If You Buck and they say, lady, yeah, me nucking and bucking. Like, Diamond can't get no love. Stilettos, pumps, and that club. Like, Diamond can't get no love. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the women of Atlanta as well. And 404 Day, I want to shout y'all out and make sure y'all get y'all just do. Okay, Elena Delle Donne, EDD, salute, salute to a real basketball legend, Chicago basketball legend, DC legend. She done brought the championship to DC. Man, one of the greatest players of her time. I remember her when she was in college at Delaware, and like it was like this girl Delaware, she's setting all the records. She like the best college basketball player ever. And this was like before Kelsey Plum, and then it became Kelsey Plum, then it became Sabrina Ionescu, and then it became Caitlin Clark. So when people, new fans, look at Caitlin Clark and like, oh, you know, I'm a bit like Caitlin Clark. We ain't never seen this. It's like people literally was just calling Sabrina Ionescu the greatest thing ever. And then people literally a couple years before that calling Kelsey Plum the greatest thing ever. And before that, people were calling Elena Delle Donne, but also, you know, shout out to Stewie, the GOAT of college basketball. And then shout out to Maya Moore, the greatest player if I've ever seen it up front and close and personal, stuff like that. But yeah, man, you know, Delle Donne was one of them ones. And, you know, what I learned kind of through Dro throughout the years was that she was originally supposed to go to UConn because I was always wondering about the UConn EDD connection and stuff like that. And that's what it was. She was originally committed to UConn, and it was something like her father was sick, so she had to stay sick closer to her family. So she went to Delaware, and she set the scoring records and all that, and just balled out at Delaware. Went to Chicago, started off her career at Chicago. She's just a cold white girl. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It's like I won't even say Dirk is her comparison because her jumper is a little more fluid. But she is like one of those prototypical fours that you see now. You see so many of them, like the Asia Wilsons and the Leah Edwards and ironically Shakira Austin's, like, you know, two DC players there. But it's a lot of those like hybrid fours that face up and kind of are slashers and kind of go into Candace Parker, even though Candace Parker is older than EDD. But, you know, kind of play like, perfect example, Paul Millsap. Kind of play like Paul Millsap, you know what I'm saying? Where they could face up, but they could also post up because of their size and use their size, but they could shoot the ball and everything like that. Can get up, run the floor because they're, you know, slim enough, fit enough, and things of that sort. Great player. Career slowed up a little bit by injuries. I know she wanted to retire on her own terms, just like an Angel McCoughtry wanted to retire on her own terms, but it just is what it is, man. I'm so sorry, man. And I also think that to say that they deserve better, bro. Like the legends deserve better. Angel McCoughtry deserves better. Proper farewell. You know what I'm saying? She tore her ACL. And, you know, when she wasn't ready, she went back out in Atlanta and took a corner three or whatever and just got a standing ovation. And that was kind of it. You know, she didn't get her good farewell. She came back to a game last season in Gateway, and people gave her applause and everything like that, standing ovation as the queen of Atlanta basketball. But these legends, man, we have to make sure that we treat these legends with respect, especially with the game blowing up now. Is more important than ever to remember the past and where we came from and the people that set the pathway for this blow up and stuff like that. So salute to Elena Delle Donne. Shouts out to her bringing a championship to the city of Washington, D.C. With the Mystics. I'll always remember your contributions to the game, and I appreciate all the memories and great play throughout the years, man. And with that said, another guy that I want to shout out, man, or a guy that I want to shout out, Alex Ovechkin, bro. Alex Ovechkin, he just tied the kid, Wayne Gretzky's goal record, all-time NHL goal record tonight and things of that sort, bro. And, man, Alex Ovechkin, like, To see him with gray hair over the past couple of years has been crazy. And I even saw a TikTok edit of him where he has like this compilation of he like some rap song that he recites, bro. It is something I never seen before. It was like what was the rap song? It's like Juicy J, bands will make a dance. He's like, bands will make a, and he says it like every game in the locker room. It's crazy. Hold on, give me a second. But yeah, man, I remember these two guys, coming into the league. I felt like in 2005, NHL talk was like a little more prioritized on SportsCenter. And then we were forced to watch SportsCenter back then. You know, it's not like now where we watch a stream or we just follow Twitter pages that kind of cater to us, or Instagram pages or Facebook pages that cater to us. But back then we had to watch SportsCenter. And on SportsCenter, the two guys with hockey that they will always promote, regardless of their promotion of the rest of the league, were these two. Sidney Crosby, the kid, he was the number one pick, and Ovechkin over there in Washington. And those guys stayed with their franchises their entire careers, which is beautiful to see. And 20 years later, man, they're still great. They both brought Stanley Cup titles to their cities. They've both done amazing things. They lived up to the hype and continue to live up to the hype 20 years later, bro. They're faces of the sport, bro. Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, faces of the sport. Is like LeBron, Melo, and Wade, but Melo and Wade retired. Bron's still going, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I want to read this story from someone who I would assume knows a lot more hockey than myself. His name is Adam Kurzian Black. Okay, they've been delivering for 18, 20 years under pressure. Canucks Rich Tocchet discussed the historic careers of Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. The 2024-2025 season is shaping up to be an historic one for both Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. The 9th and 11th all-time producers in NHL history are wrapping up their 20th season and are now breaking Wayne Gretzky's records that were once deemed unbreakable. Despite closing in on 40 years old, I have to make sure my mic's still on. Despite closing in on 40 years old, neither looks like they are slowing down, with both Crosby and Ovechkin signed at least one more season. As mentioned, by the end of the season, both Crosby and Ovechkin will have passed records set by Gretzky. Starting with Crosby, he has already set a new record, becoming the NHL's all-time leader in consecutive seasons above a point a game. As for Ovechkin, he's on the verge of surpassing Gretzky's all-time goal record, and before the end of the campaign, could become the first and only player in NHL history to score 900 goals. Shout out to Ovechkin, man. Shout out to Crosby as well. I think Crosby is actually on, hockey expert Rashad Milligan here, Crosby's actually on an 11-point streak. So shout out to Sidney Crosby, man. Watching these players battle it out over the past 2 decades has been a treat for hockey fans. While they weren't drafted in the same year, Crosby and Ovechkin made their NHL debuts on the same day and have faced off 97 times combined in the regular season and NHL playoffs. They both will be headed to the Hockey Hall of Fame while also receiving their jerseys retired by their organizations. I don't know what's down here. Hold on. Am I good? Let's see. I don't know this website, so I had to make sure I'm good now. When asked about Crosby and Ovechkin's careers, Tocchet had a simple answer as to why they have been successful for so long. Well, it's amazing, said Rich Tocchet. Rick Tocchet. Oh, Lord. No. Sorry, Mom. My bad. We talk about consistency, their consistency level, whether it's scoring or whether it's any facet of the game. I lived it there for a couple of series of Washington and Pittsburgh, and watching them at a high level, especially in the playoffs, just a respect factor. It's hard to play like that every game. It's hard to play in the pressure games and deliver, and they've been delivering for 18, 20 years under pressure. That's the hard part, to be able to deliver under pressure. Crosby and Ovechkin have both served as role models for a large portion of players in the NHL. For years, whatever players were asked who their favorite players were growing up, the answer is usually Sid the Kid or the Grade 8. As Tocchet explains, he hopes young players are still paying attention to how much work Crosby and Ovechkin are putting in as the two continue to demonstrate how to be successful in the NHL. The easy answer is work ethic. They're doing stuff that other players aren't doing. Sidney Crosby, he trains, he'll be in Germany 1 year training, the new way of training. He's always trying to look outside the box. He's always tried to build his foundation. And I think that's the same with the young players. You got to do what is required, what's more than required. Habits, build your foundation, build your game. What's your identity as a player? And then apply it in those games. In the end, Crosby versus Ovechkin rivalry will go down as one of the best in NHL history. The two have battled their entire careers and produced moments that won't be forgotten. Luckily, fans will get one more chance to watch Crosby and Ovechkin go head-to-head as they play each other on April 17, 2025, the final day of the 2024-2025 regular season. I want to give it up to these two, man, the two GOATs, Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, the two greats of their generation, man. I grew up in a time where it was like Wayne Gretzky was a great, and that was the only hockey player I knew, and it was like, he's the greatest, and there's nobody else that can touch it. It's like Michael Jordan in basketball. Michael Jordan is the greatest, and nobody else can touch it. So for these two to come in as new cats and then come in and tie and break the great one, the kid, Wayne Gretzky's records, it's amazing. And it's beautiful to witness, to be alive in this time, the time of LeBron James, the time of Kobe Bryant, the times of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, just to see so many great athletes at the same time, the time of Serena Williams, the time of Tiger Woods, the time of you can go down the list. So all of those guys, man, and gals, it's just amazing to see. And I don't know, I'm happy to see it. And we want to celebrate greatness over here. So salute to those guys. Okay, I want to react to this Ole Miss girl speaking about the rumors. Apparently, she sued everybody because, first of all, I don't know why this went viral. I never checked it out. It was just something I saw going viral. And I was like, okay, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's none of my business. But people keep talking about it. For some reason, it's got all the way up to NBC's, the NBC exclusive, sitting down talking to the girl. I know she's suing Pat McAfee and them and everybody that was talking about this alleged rumor that she I don't even want to say it out loud because she might sue me, but we'll just play it.
Internet, half of the country hating you and calling you disgusting things, telling you to kill yourself, telling you that you're a horrible person, that you deserve to die. That's a really hard thing for a girl to go through.
In her first TV interview, Ole Miss freshman Mary Kate Cornett told me how she became famous on the internet and social media in the worst possible way. In February, an online rumor went viral, claiming an Ole Miss sorority sister slept with her boyfriend's father. Then someone attached Cornett's name and photo to it. Do you know why the rumor started?
No clue. No clue. I had zero knowledge of this.
This disgusting rumor was a top trending topic on Twitter.
Within 2.5 hours. Later that night, around 7 p.m., I was #1 trending in the United States. I felt so helpless and so alone because so many people were hating on me for something that I had no idea anything about. I mean, I'm a very normal person. Just like any teenage girl, I care about what people think about me. I mean, any teenage girl can relate to that.
Cornett's phone number was also shared online. She was overwhelmed with harassing texts and voicemails.
I was having thousands of calls come through, thousands of texts coming through, calling me a whore, calling me a slut, telling me I deserve to die.
When you look back at the last 5 weeks, is there one moment that sticks out for you?
With myself, it would probably be at 3 a.m. when I was throwing up while holding the phone with all of the texts on it.
I think I have to go back and, we were talking about 404 Day, right? And I was talking about the tributes in 404 Day for those of you who didn't see it. And the tributes, a lot of the tributes, just show no woman. And I'm like, bro, women existed, bro. This Atlanta, the home of TLC. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta is the home of Escape. Atlanta's the home of Sierra. Atlanta's the home of, all these women who have done great things behind the scenes. Shanti Das, who helped make Outkast, and now is doing great work in the mental health space. So many great, you think of Shirley Franklin as a mayor. You think of Keisha Lance Bottoms as a mayor. You think of Stacey Abrams, and all the work that she's done in the city and in the state. you know what I'm saying? It's just like an erasure of women. And you know, you talk about women or you speak up for women as a man. I remember I did so because like Jeff Teague's podcast, they brought on Charleston White. Charleston White is talking down on women like crazy for the sake of a laugh. And the stuff like can make you chuckle or whatever, but it's like we making black women the butt of the joke. Like that's cool. And whether it's black women, white women, whatever, at the end of the day, I feel like one thing that all races can come to an agreement with and stuff around the world is their hatred for women, bro. I think just a lot of people just hate women, dog. And it's confusing. Like, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And I know like people talk about incel culture and everything like that. People flip the word incel. I don't think a lot of people know what it is. But incel, for those of you who don't know, I'll explain it right now because I hate when people say you don't even know what it is. You don't have the knowledge for it. You don't have the education. I'll tell you what it is right now. Incel, and incel is someone who's involuntarily celibate. So it's like essentially guys who can't get women long enough to become intimate with them. And so it started online as like a community of guys who were so frustrated who couldn't get women and keep them long enough to the point where they can become intimate with them because they view women as objects instead of human beings that you have to cultivate personal relationships with and have them be comfortable. But when you look at them, thanks to the internet and a lot of the crazy content, graphic content that our minds consume that pervert our minds and just like switch the way that we view other humans, right? That's what it comes down to as well. And then you don't get what you see all the time because you acted the way that you saw from this fictional movie or whatever the case might be. And so you turn it into hate. You hate women because you can't get women. And I think that's something that all races and different backgrounds can come together with across the world. And, you know, misogyny is a deep-rooted thing. And this is just another example of it so far, 2 minutes into the story. Why are y'all hating this teenage girl at this random college? Y'all don't even know her. It's like they just decided to make her the face of like all the women that you had an issue with. Take it out on this random college student, teenage college student at Ole Miss. That don't even make sense, bro. Like, it doesn't.
Just saying how horrible of a person I was and that I should end my life.
All because of an internet rumor.
All because of an internet rumor that has zero truth to it. Zero.
Cornette says she could barely leave her dorm room, had to switch to online classes. Someone even sent police to her mother.
Even if it was true, it's none of folks' business and it happens. Even if it was true. And if it was true, you don't say those things about a stranger and blow up her phone and make her the face of mistakes. Kids make mistakes, bro. Kids, trust me. Most of y'all, if y'all in y'all 20s, y'all done made a mistake when y'all was a teenager too. And if you're older than that, then you definitely made mistakes when you were younger. So just is what it is.
First house in a fake 911 call.
Some Ole Miss frat, bro.
Yep. Sure.
Okay. Had a KD girlfriend.
Soon, the rumor was picked up by ESPN host Pat McAfee, though he didn't use her name.
This is what is being reported by everybody on the internet. Dad had sex with son's girlfriend.
Has anyone apologized to you?
No. No. They have not at all. I want these famous people to know that I was not famous before this. I'm not a public figure that you can go talk about on your show to get more views. I'm not. Sorry. Nobody knows who I am, or nobody did know who I was. But them pressing this and pushing it farther made my situation so much worse. Because the people who were talking about it are the people that I would want to take a picture with if I saw it in public. They're people that I watched. Pat McAfee, ESPN. That's on my living room TV every single night.
That's gotta hurt that he's talking a bit that way.
It does, because I used to look up to these people, and now these same people are making me feel worthless. Yeah. And that I'm just a joke.
Pat McAfee comes on during the day.
ESPN and Pat McAfee
unless you just watch this like replay.
Declined NBC News' request for comment. Cornette says she hit rock bottom when she realized her name would forever be linked to the rumor spread online.
I don't think that these boys realize what they're doing to people.
And I ain't gonna lie to you. You might watch this because I ain't gonna lie. A part of me is watching this. I'm like, okay, bro, all right. I get it because I just said what I just said. But that part of it was like, okay, all right. At the same time, bro, this is a teenage girl. So if any part seemed like over the top, dramatic, or whatever, and stuff like that, it's a teenage girl. And you can't tell other people how to feel or react to any situation in life, period.
It's awful. It's awful. And having your life ruined by people who have no idea who you are is the worst feeling in the world. It makes you feel so alone.
Cornett now wants justice. Her lawyer says she's been defamed and is a victim of cyberbullying.
The rumor is false. People promoted it without looking into it. You can't lie for money.
Are there laws that protect Mary Kate? Because it seems like the internet, social media, it's the wild, wild west.
To some degree, the law hasn't caught up with the speed at which a lie travels online and the fact that it's now kind of anchored to her name forever. But defamation exists. There's growing protections against cyberbullying. There's growing protections against, making fake pictures, which has also happened to Mary Kate. The legal regime is catching up.
For now, she says she's leaning on her friends and family, including her father.
I just wonder why. Why my daughter? She wasn't looking for any of this. She never asked for any attention. She's just trying to be a freshman in college.
Instead,
freshman?
She's been tested.
This kid's oh man. Like I said, bro. She said teenage girl, and I was like, teenage, so she young. She young. And he said a freshman. Bro, y'all did this to a freshman is crazy, bro. Kid, 18, 19 years old.
Like never before.
I have no idea how this started or why, but I do know that this has affected me in such an awful way and has practically ruined my life.
Yeah, what would you tell to that person?
Just that your actions have consequences, real consequences, that I will be living and facing for the rest of my life. That many other girls face things like this that will affect the rest of their lives.
Tom Yamas, NBC News.
That sucks, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was this there was this like one thing that we had in our high school, and it was like I don't even want to say, but it was like a rumor of this girl that like kind of got around in a different class, and she was 2012 and we were 2013, and like other kids, so we would just diss each other. Like 2012 would diss 2013. They say, "Oh yeah, y'all not us, y'all not," or something like that, And then 2013 would be like, "Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I joined in on this one." He was like, PLC. That's the credit recovery program, because a lot of the 2012 kids, they were like popular and cool around the county, around the area and stuff like that. But they were so cool, them jokers barely did work. So they had to go to the little credit recovery place, all the popular kids, just to graduate on time and stuff like that. Then they come back. And I think they named like some girl. They did. They named a girl from our class. And then so other kids from our class started chanting a girl's name to them. And I'm like, yo, that's wild. Y'all chanting girls' names and this and that. And the girl wasn't there from their class, but I ended up working with her a couple years later in like a holiday job, a gig and stuff. And I told her, she wasn't aware about it. And she was just like, I don't know why people would do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like kind of being mean for no reason and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. Groupthink makes you lose all logic, especially at a young age. And it just at young ages, you're just stupid overall. So I say all of this to say, man, what this young lady has been subjected to really, really reeks. And lots of young women and, well, specifically young women have to deal with this on a year-to-year basis on a much smaller scale. So the fact that she's dealing with this on a viral national scale is terrible. The fact that it got all the way up to ESPN is terrible. And things that seem like that are mentioned in passing on national levels and are trending for just an hour or two or whatever on national levels, for that person, when you're that person, it is literally like the entire world. It's like what you see yourself on your phone when you scroll past it once is literally that for that person, but their entire world for like a long time. So being a part of the wrong side of our virality isn't like the best thing, but yeah. Okay. Best of luck to that girl. With her fighting the cases and stuff. I think she has cases. She has good cases, and I hope, I don't know, she can get something back. You know what I'm saying? So, this is me checking out the Carmelo Anthony stories. Oh, someone commented they wanted me to read the full thing. I saw somebody else post about the full thing and stuff like that. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all my screen, my home screen. It's my home screen, just in case y'all wondering. This is a little spam page. It was A Slick KGC. I gotta pronounce that because they showed me love a couple days, because they showed me love on the Doja Cat joint. They said I don't care about the whole culture situation with Doja Cat. I think people have, you know what I'm saying, different opinions and views on that. But yeah. They wanted me to read this, and I saw this myself this morning too after I uploaded the video and stuff. So yeah, I just want to read this on live, man, on stream, because new details keep coming out about the situation with the tragic situation at the track meet and stuff like that in Texas. Touch me and see what happens. New details emerged around the Frisco track meet. Arrest affidavit. Okay. The suspect reportedly told the officer who arrested him that the 17-year-old victim put hands on him and that he admitted that he did it. Frisco, Texas. The suspect accused of fatally a 17-year-old Frisco high school student at a track meet Wednesday morning reportedly confessed to the incident, claiming that he was protecting himself according to the arrest affidavit. One witness reportedly told police that the victim, Austin Metcalf, had told the suspect, Carmelo Anthony, that he would need to move out from under his team's tent, the affidavit stated. Anthony was a student at Centennial High School, but was reportedly sitting under Memorial High School's tent. Upon telling him this, the witness told the police that Anthony opened his bag and reached inside. That's what I saw this. And okay. So I heard that Austin went into his bag. According to this, Anthony is the one who went into his bag and reached inside. And he said, touch me and see what happens. Then he touched him. And I guess what happened. The witness told responding officer. And Anthony told Metcalf to punch him and see what would happen. So then he grabbed him and told him to move, at which point he continues. He pulled out what he recalled was the weapon, and he did what he did. And he ran away. Metcalf reportedly started telling people to get help, the witness told police. The affidavit shows that another witness interviewed, terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Told the police the same story of the altercation occurring inside the Memorial High School's tent. Dang. In the affidavit, the arresting officer says that when he found 17-year-old Anthony, he reportedly told the officer, I was protecting myself, for the officer had even questioned him about the incident. As the officer was walking Anthony off the track, the suspect reportedly further said that Metcalf put his hands on him. Anthony was then handcuffed, the affidavit reads. After another officer arrived, the arresting officer advised that the alleged suspect, to which Anthony reportedly said, I'm not alleged, I did it. The officer noted fresh blood on Anthony's left middle finger while he sat in the back seat of the vehicle to report detail. The document states that Anthony also asked officer if Metcalf was going to be okay while he's in the back of the vehicle. While being escorted to the squad car, Anthony asked officers if actions could be considered self-defense. In a now viral Facebook post, a relative of Anthony's backed up his claim of self-defense. Kevin Hayes, the relative of Anthony, wrote that Anthony defended himself against violent aggressors. He called the victim and his twin brothers bullies, said that they tried to jump him, and claimed that they tried to take Anthony's belongings, broke his phone, and stumped on it. Attorney Mike Howard told WFAA that a claim of self-defense would be difficult given that the victim was unarmed. He also said prosecutors will likely argue that Anthony provoked Metcalf. A person claiming self-defense cannot provoke the incident and then claim self-defense when they act. On the defense side, they are likely to argue that he's a young man. He's scared. He's allegedly been jumped by multiple people and he panicked. It becomes a fact of question that's going to really come down to what the witness say happened. Dang. In a Facebook post, Hayes described Anthony as a respectful, well-mannered young man, a 4.0 student with multiple college offers, and a kid with zero criminal history. According to the affidavit, the knife that Anthony allegedly used to Metcalf was later found in the bleachers on the track. Anthony had reportedly thrown it in there following the situation. Anthony is being held in Collin County Jail, where the bond amount has been set at $1 million. The UIL track meet was postponed to Monday and moved to Little Elm High School. The district promises to share updated security precautions with families in the coming days. WFAA spoke to Kerry Ordos, the owner of Halo Pizzeria in Frisco. Austin worked part-time there alongside his mother, Megan, and his identical twin, Hunter. To help ease the financial burden of the funeral and legal expenses, Ordos has launched a GoFundMe to the Metcalf family and are planning to fundraiser to Halo Pizzeria soon. Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, also started a GoFundMe. Together, they raised nearly $250,000. Jeff Metcalf met with the WFAA for the first time on Thursday to discuss his son and what happened to him. He said that he was incredibly grateful for the tributes, community support, and love after Wednesday's incident. Money will never bring my son back, but I need to take care of what's left and his twin brother, Jeff Metcalf said. Metcalf also requested that social media warriors and those using his son's tragedy to create political discord, let alone racial discourse. This is heartening. This is not a race issue. It's not a black and white issue. Don't want someone stepping up on their soapbox to trying to politicize this. Unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip. When asked about Anthony's comments regarding self-defense, Metcalf told WFFA that he didn't think what at a school track meet was a reasonable excuse for being told to move. If you're caught, the best thing you're going to do is try to lie your way out of it. Dang. The truth will always come out. There were too many people there that saw what happened. In Anthony's arrest paperwork, police listed more than 30 witnesses who saw the thing, according to the students and coaches. Coaches saw it. Metcalf saw the headlines on Wednesday, telling numerous media outlets that despite what happened, he still forgives the suspect. Leaning on his faith, he echoed it even in it after hearing Thursday's developments. The world needs more kind people. If you can't find one, be one. All right. Dang. The Frisco police chief released a statement on the incident. As parents, we must remind our sons and daughters that the choices and decisions that they make today can lead to the severe consequences for the rest of their lives, Silson said. In the statement, violence cannot be the go-to that our young people use it as the only way to resolve disputes. We have to have conversations about what guides our decisions and motivations. Our students must consider their futures in everything, in every choice they make, in every word and image they post, and every person they are friends with. Chief Shilshan also asked the community to be careful with the online rumors about the fatal stabbing. I ask everyone to be cautious with inaccurate information that is circulating related to this incident and to only trust information that comes from official releases and verified sources, Shilshan said. Beware of those taking the social media to deliberately spread misinformation, hate, fear, and division. Shilshan added that a fake social media account has been created to use his name to spread misinformation, which he said is a third-degree felony that will be investigated. So, yeah, man. This was a great report, by the way. Who did this? Paul Wedding. Great job, Paul Wedding, on really getting a lot of the details out. A lot of people just kind of, saying in the dark about what was going on and stuff like that. So I think that really said a lot what was going on for real. But yes, with that being said, I have to get out of here. I have an early morning, some travel and stuff like that. So I will see you guys tomorrow. As always, please take care of yourselves. And be safe. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the basketball. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon, you want one quick question? We can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.